For some fighters, a new weight class is an opportunity. For Jaron "Boots" Ennis, it's a mission.
My mindset right now, looking forward to the homecoming, just staying locked in, training 2 or 3 times a day, to get my workouts in, get my rest in, just locked in and being focused.
No. I want to go drop it.
Staying active, that's the most important key. And me being off, for this time, it's not going to affect me at all. I just want to get myself back in the ring.
Bring me a 70 ball.
As June 27th approaches, the former unified welterweight champion isn't preparing for just another title fight. He's preparing for a chance to redefine his legacy.
I think I've known him since I started, around like 12. I used to spar him, but he was a little small. Now I'm bigger than me. Everyone in Philly was raised, so we're raised off survival. So we have to be tough. So we take that toughness in the ring with us, and we walk with that, on our sleeves.
How far can he go there?
As far as he want to go, so like he could be the base boxing as well.
What I'm excited about is, collecting all the belts, and becoming undisputed. That's what I'm excited about.
Chapter 1? Yeah, you can. Thank you. If you need one, you tell me.
Is this how you do it? You just go around asking people if you can cut their wood?
I guess. No, we normally be having our own pieces of wood back at home.
Standing across from him will be the undefeated Xander Zayas, one of boxing's brightest young stars, in a matchup many believe could shape the future of the super welterweight division.
Point that out here. We can't take it back on the plane, so after he finished chopping wood, taking it back to the store. What are they gonna do with you? I'm gonna say we had one already.
Just got done sparring, came to chop some wood, get his money. Life of a king, man.
You got some money. I know you ain't dropped that on my rod.
Fishing rod?
Yo, see you disrespectful, man. Damn, we want to get up away from it,
too
man.
heavy, man.
Yeah, dropping the damn eggs on my fishing rod. This boy's crazy, man.
Man 26.
Inside training camp, Ennis has approached this challenge with the intensity of a fighter determined to prove he belongs among the sport's elite. The focus has been on carrying his trademark speed, explosiveness, and versatility into the 154-pound division, while adding the physical strength needed to compete with naturally bigger opponents.
What is it about living in Philly that makes you the fighter you are?
I mean, just being from Philly, you're just different. You got a different type of swag, different type of demeanor. Just being from Philly, you always find a way to win, dig deep, got that Philly grit.
It's a beautiful feeling, man, that people come out and showing love to my son. That's a great opportunity, man, and it's great for the city of Philadelphia. Boots gonna really be a household name, even though people know him now, but he's gonna be bigger than life.
High-intensity sparring, demanding conditioning sessions, angle creation, and relentless combination punching have all become central parts of his preparation. The goal is simple: arrive stronger without sacrificing the athleticism that made him one of boxing's most dangerous talents. But this fight represents more than championships. It represents an opportunity to become a two-weight unified world champion and silence any remaining doubts about his place among boxing's pound-for-pound best.
Xander, where are we in camp right now? What week are we on?
Maybe 4 into camp already. 4 moving, but because we never stop. Like, I feel like even off camp, I'm always here getting better and moving around. Remember, I'm in fat camp. That's all it is. I'm in fat camp. I'm not ashamed of being in fight camp.
But
Take my shirt off.
Yeah, but the reality is, like, Xander's fat camp is not fat camp, right? And this body's been built over the last 3 or 4 years. So when we're in camp, we're in refining right now. We've chased the adaptation. He has what he needs. The tools are there. Now it's just about optimizing. And you'll see the session today. It's Wednesday. It's midweek. Somewhere he's probably grinding. Right now we're refining. We're getting better. We're fine tuning. It's about rhythm and timing, making sure we're keeping this body healthy for what we got to do across in the ring. So he's exactly where he needs to be. We could go next week. You know, I think the proof is in the pudding, right? You'll see this body on fight night. He'll be ready to go.
But every great story needs an opponent who refuses to play the supporting role. While Jaron "Boots" Ennis has spent camp-chasing history in a new weight class, Xander Zayas has been preparing to protect the throne he worked years to build. At just 23 years old, the undefeated Puerto Rican champion enters the biggest fight of his career, knowing that victory would silence every remaining doubt about whether he truly belongs among boxing's elite.
Me siento que igual lo hizo. Hay que encarno del país. De mi generación. No lo digo yo. Es Miguel Agreló.
Everybody's talking about Boots being the best in the division. So if that's the case, then Xander getting this win, I mean, we would have to put Xander up there. Boots is gonna really bring out the best of Xander. I don't think anybody has seen the best yet. And I think this fight is gonna bring that out.
Under the close supervision of his longtime trainer Javier Centeno, Zaz has come into this camp carrying the same mentality that once took him from a teenage prospect to a unified world champion. No major adjustments have been made, and there has been no attempt at reinvention. Instead, he remains fully committed to the core principles that built his success. His sharp technical boxing, disciplined movement, clean combination work, and top-level conditioning continue to define every training session. Still, Zaz is fully aware of the challenge waiting for him on the opposite side of the ring.
I normally do it at least twice a week. Helps with inflammation, muscle pain, all of that. So this is good. It's good for the body. We actually implemented it for the first time last camp. And so we continue to do it. This and the hyperbaric chamber, they have it here too. And I come at least once or twice a week and try to get it done. Because this is good for the body. It makes me feel good. I feel the difference when I do it to when I don't do it. So just keep doing it. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Ennis arrives with explosive athletic ability, elite hand speed, and a level of versatility that can trouble any opponent in boxing. Because of that, this training camp has focused heavily on preparation, discipline, and full belief in the fight strategy. For Zayas, this is not simply another title defense. It is a chance to show that youth can outmatch experience, that discipline can stand equal to natural talent, and that the biggest stages bring out his strongest version. On June 27th, the undefeated champion will not just be defending his position at the top, he will be fighting to prove he truly belongs there.
When you want to be great and you choose to be great and you decide that this is what you want to do, I feel like fighting the best is the only way to show it. It's easy to go out in social media and say, I'm the best, and have nobody in your resume and not have proven yourself. So I feel like I say I'm the best. I prove myself every time in. I haven't said no to any opponents they always bring to the table. I always come ready. I always come prepared. And I always show why this 23-year-old is a unified world champion.
And if the build-up to the Ennis versus Zaz fight has largely focused on Ennis chasing greatness in a new weight division, hearing Zaz speak reveals something crucial. This young fighter doesn't view himself as an obstacle in Boots' journey. Instead, he sees Boots as the hurdle in his own path. That mindset alone sets a completely different tone. What really stands out isn't any loud trash talk because there's very little of it, but rather a quiet confidence that feels even more dangerous. Boots told everyone to go and get Xander, and Xander's response was simple. He's been waiting. That doesn't sound like a fighter hoping he's ready. It sounds like a champion who already believes he belongs at the top level. I couldn't help but notice how casually Zaz reacted when the discussion turned to odds and underdog talk, treating it like irrelevant background noise.
Really 2 weeks. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? So, but again, I did have a date for June 27 in Puerto Rico. And that was always gonna be my date because I fought in January 31st. So they told me June 27th is the date. And then obviously everything shifted because of the Boots fight. So we just changed the venue and the opponent, but the date stayed the same. You're not gonna change my date because you're Jaron Boots Ennis or because you're whoever you want to be. I'm Xander Zayas, I'm the Unified World Champion, and we're gonna fight June 27th.
While fans continue focusing on Boots' speed, power, and highlight reel ability, Xander keeps returning to one consistent idea he has been overlooked his entire life. Whether that's fair or not, it's a mindset that can become dangerous once he steps into the ring. He even made a subtle remark about Boots needing a 23-year-old champion to create the biggest fight of his career, a level of confidence that doesn't rely on shouting, but instead quietly shifts the atmosphere in the room. At the same time, this isn't arrogance. There is clear respect for what Boots brings, but also a firm belief that he himself is the answer to every question this matchup presents. That contrast is what makes this fight so compelling. Boots is trying to prove he is the future pound-for-pound king, while Zaz believes the king is already standing right in front of him. One fighter trusts pure talent to decide the outcome, while the other relies on preparation, consistency, and belief. And when two undefeated fighters enter Barclays Center, both convinced that destiny is on their side, someone's perfect record is bound to collide with reality.
Can Xander beat Boots, Roy? He's super confident. He thinks he can do everything Boots can do.
It's yet to be seen. It's like I said, I'm not saying he can't because I've seen Xander, and Xander is pretty good. Intangible wise, I don't know that he can do everything Boots can do because Boots does have a lot of intangibles that Boots can do. I've seen him do a few more because he's been around a bit longer than Xander. But Xander's got to know how to make a chess. So that being said, we'll have to see what happens.
And that's where Roy Jones Jr.'s perspective becomes especially interesting. Because while Xander Zayas has spent the entire build-up speaking like a man fully convinced he will leave Barclays Center with his undefeated record still intact, Roy steps in and reminds everyone that confidence and actual capability are not always the same thing. What makes Roy's breakdown so valuable is that he doesn't get caught up in hype, crowd noise, or storyline narratives. Xander talks about Puerto Rican pride, proving he is the best at 154, and showing the world he is ready for the moment. Roy listens to all of that and essentially responds with a simple reality check: none of that matters once the fight begins. The crowd does not throw punches, and that is one of the most overlooked truths in this matchup. Some fans are treating it like Boots is stepping into a hostile movie scene where the atmosphere itself becomes a weapon, but Roy makes it clear that once the bell rings, all of that noise fades into the background.
But Xander's got to know how to make a chess. So that being said, we'll have to see what happens. I don't know who will win the fight. The intangibles do lean toward Boots to me, but Xander's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and I've seen him in action up close when I had Slava fight him, and he gave Slava a pretty good, he made a good adjustment on Slava and came back and beat Slava, but Slava did hurt him early, but you never can tell. So does Boots have that kind of power? I think so, yes. Does Boots have boxing skills? I know that for a fact. So I think it's going to be just a great fight, and I can't wait to see who wins.
The real problem in front of Boots is Xander, and the real problem in front of Xander is Boots. Nothing more complicated than that. What really stood out, though, was how Roy kept returning to the idea of intangibles. Not speed, not power, not youth, but intangibles. In boxing terms, that means the things you can't neatly measure on paper: in-fight adjustments, ring IQ, instincts, and the ability to solve problems when a game plan starts falling apart by the middle rounds. Roy seems to believe Boots has a slight edge in that department, and that's not exactly a surprising take given what has been seen from Ennis so far in his career. But this is where the situation gets complicated. Every time people highlight Boots' advantages, Xander answers by stepping up, winning again, and adding another belt to his name. That's what makes this fight so compelling. One fighter carries the more polished, explosive skill set, while the other brings the unshakable belief of a champion who feels overlooked once again. Roy leans slightly toward Boots, but Xander is convinced the outcome is already decided in his favor. And when both men enter the ring believing they are absolutely right, boxing usually delivers something unforgettable.
Yeah, I think it's a lot closer too because Xander Zayas is a really good boxer, puncher. Well, you know, he's really big for 154.
Absolutely.
And I think that he can move around really good. He's got a lot of great combinations and stuff like that. But it's going to be a tough fight for him because Boots is actually a big fighter too as well and has a lot of skills, not just punching power, but he has a lot of boxing skills as well. And he can go from right-handed to left-handed, you know, at any time. So that could be a problem for Xander.
Roy Jones Jr. looked at the Boots Ennis versus Xander Zayas fight and essentially reminded everyone not to get distracted by the noise. The ring is still a one-on-one fight. But what Shane Mosley adds to the discussion is a completely different angle, because he's not just talking about who wins, he's talking about why this matchup might be much closer than the odds suggest. That point stands out immediately. While many fans view Boots as an almost unstoppable force moving up from welterweight, Shane is looking at Xander and saying this is a serious problem waiting to be solved. And the deeper you study Zayas, the harder it becomes to simply dismiss him. Mosley keeps coming back to something casual fans often ignore: activity. Not just volume punching, but meaningful work that forces a fighter like Boots to constantly think, reset, and adjust in real time. That matters because Boots is at his most dangerous when he's controlling chaos and turning it into his rhythm. But if Xander can slow that chaos down and turn it into a tactical puzzle instead of a fast-paced exchange, the entire fight shifts into a very different kind of contest.
Shane, if you were training Xander Zayas, how do you get the job done? How do you nullify that speed? How do you stop that power?
Well, I think that Xander Zayas have to be more of a volume puncher, kind of like with, you know, what I'm forgetting his name, Fendura.
Yes.
Like Fendura was like a volume puncher. And I think that he has to keep Boots in his, you know, occupied with all the punches and movements and stuff like that. But if he stays there right in front of him, then, you know, then Boots is going to, you know, take his toll on him. But I think that activity for Xander Zayas will be the key for him.
So now we've broken down every perspective on this fight from all sides. Boots Ennis is convinced this is the night he officially establishes himself as the dominant force at 154 pounds. Meanwhile, Xander Zayas feels this isn't about him stepping into Boots' narrative. He genuinely believes Boots has stepped into his. Roy Jones Jr. leans toward Ennis because of the intangibles he brings to the table, while Shane Mosley argues the difference between them isn't nearly as wide as most people assume. On one side, it's explosive athletic talent doing the talking. On the other, it's discipline, high activity, and unshakable belief. Yet everyone seems to agree on one thing: by the end of the night in Brooklyn, one undefeated record will still be intact, and the other will belong to the biggest win of a fighter's career. Now the question goes to you: who do you have winning this fight, and what's your reasoning? Is Boots Ennis going to become a two-division unified champion and push even closer to pound-for-pound recognition? Or will Xander Zayas pull off the upset and prove he already rules the 154-pound division? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because this has all the ingredients of a fight of the year contender. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next video.